When people have a sense of purpose, it all makes sense. You know, everyone has that existential question of what am I meant to do? But we really don't feel like we can afford to figure out what we're meant to do because I got a living to make. When people think of purpose, they feel that it has to be a Mother Teresa level of purpose. And my retort is, you know, did you think that Mother Teresa woke up one day and said, well, if I pick up that sick guy on the street, and then I do that, and then I do that, and then I do that, one day I'll be canonized for sainthood? Yeah, I don't think it was the plan. Isn't there something in your life that just happens to you all the time? You seem to attract lunatics, or you seem to, everyone comes to you with their problems, or you're the peacemaker in the family, or anytime you're in a work situation, you're the one, whatever that natural, organic thing is, that's your purpose. To me, that's the blueprint. Is trying to access who are you really? Because if we got that, you have a sense of purpose. You know what matches your life, what doesn't match your life. You know what BS you're going to put up with in the office and what BS you're not going to put up with in the office, right? You know how far you'll stretch and bend to fit in or not fit in. What if people said your whole life that you should be or do? That might be reflecting something essential about you that needs to be the through line in everything that you do. And if you get to be the who in everything you do, you will be more satisfied no matter what it is. I said, if I was successful as a performer, when people saw me on stage, they would be influenced to change something in their life. If people saw me on stage in a scene with somebody else healing a difficult relationship, they'd have the courage to go home and heal their relationship. Or if I was really famous, I could be a voice for a cause, like the Whales. And this statement got me the scholarship. But it wasn't until 10 years later, when I was already doing this, that I went, oh my God, I was in the wrong package to chase that essence of who I really wanted to be. Get it? Another story that really just blows me away, a woman wrote to me one time and she said, I heard you talk about that essence of the dream thing and you cured a 25-year depression. I was like, that's a little too big for me to take responsibility for, but, let's read on. So I read on, and she says, for 25 years I've wanted to be an orchestra conductor. That's all I've ever wanted. And yet I've never even picked up an instrument. And I've beaten myself up my whole life. Why aren't I doing this? Why aren't I doing this? Like, I want this, and I haven't taken a single step. And then I heard you talk about the essence of the dream, and I realized, oh my gosh, what would have been possible if I'd become an orchestra conductor? I could bring out the creativity in people. And I've been an art teacher for the last 25 years. So she suffered over being attached to a different dream instead of realizing she was already living it. A long time ago I learned, people aren't paying me for my answers, they're paying me for my questions. They're paying me to help them think.
We were asking ourselves in the late 80s, early 90s, how do I have it all, right? How do I do it all? And the question is changing. The question is changing to what do I really want? We are what we tolerate. Our life is defined by what we put up with. So many motivational programs are based on yes. Like yes, 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 yes. Say yes to your life. Say yes to the possibilities. Yes, 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 yes. And I say no. Not because I don't believe in the power of yes. I believe in positive thinking. But no is more powerful when we start looking at our lives in terms of being defined by what we put up with. That when you start saying no to things, that's when the yeses in your life show up. But when you say yes to unideal customers or clients or coworkers, you just attract more of the same, right? Have you ever had an unideal customer send you another person who was ideal? No. If someone gives you headaches, their friends will give you more headaches. That's a rule. Coaching is helping people realize that they can be of service best when they take care of themselves first. Okay? That we really are not a hero when we give from an empty cup. We're not. We're a hero when we give from a full cup because we have so much more to give. Our only job is to be an example of a life that's working. And if we all had lives that were working, it'd be a pretty happy bunch.
Balance is the wrong word. We've been set up, ladies. We've been set up. It's a conspiracy. We're told, to have the best life, we have to have a balanced life. A balanced life means nothing happens. Are you life-centered or are you work-centered? Because if you're trying to squeeze a life into what's left after your work responsibilities, you're work-focused. That when it's work, and when it's kids, it's kids. Because if there's one thing children demand from you, it's 100% presence. And you could just give them half an hour of 100% presence, and they'd be happier than you giving them 3 hours of I'm not really with you. And so as hard as it is, and as much as it's tempting, like, ooh, look how much I could get done. I could be on the road, make 4 phone calls, and still get to their thing. I am a genius, You really have to re-ask the question, You really have to re-ask, what am I doing? I'm taking this time because I want to connect. And what level of connection am I really creating? 15 minutes of silence a day is my remedy for my clients. Some have to start at 2 minutes. And silence doesn't mean a magazine. And silence doesn't mean, you're like, ooh, I don't know, that's a high standard.
What are you tolerating? What's still the rust on the magnet?
Well, I need to get back to a level of fitness that I enjoyed before.
So let's talk about that. Because that was the first one,
Knew you were
right?
gonna say that.
And you knew I was going to do that. That's my job. Let's number 1 through 5. I heard you say, I might go and do something for the house. Oh, that'd be 1. I might go do something for my child. I might go do something for my husband. And there was the reading the book part. That was kind of nice. But in 1 to 4, it wasn't there.
It wasn't number 1.
No, it wasn't number 2 or 3 or 4. It was like somewhere over here. So if it really were a priority, where would it be? What number?
It should be number 1.
Okay, that's a should, so we'll look at that in a minute. But if it were number 1, and you truly wanted it to be number 1, what would it look like? What would your week look like?
Well, I would plan my week around those times,
Right.
ideally.
What does tomorrow look like? After calling the
Well, it
plumber.
looks like I'm going to the gym now.
How about that? After calling the plumber, right?
Yes.
You might go to the gym. Okay, and what will you eat tomorrow?
I will have a healthy, well-balanced meal.
What does that mean?
Chicken, salad, fish.
Good. And then what's going to happen on Sunday?
Well, I should go to the gym again, really.
Would you like to go?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Should is like a dirty word in coaching. We say stop shooting on yourself. That's what we say. Okay.
I'm a stress management consultant. Now I'll tell you the truth. I'm actually a lady who has customers who come to me for special favors. Now I cannot control their hormones, so I don't know when they're going to come, which is why find it very difficult to organize my work between 9 and 3.
Are you totally serious?
I'm absolutely
Okay.
serious.
Then I'll be serious too. Okay, good. Good. A stress consultant. That's
I
a
call
really
it
good way to call it.
Exactly,
That's really
because
good.
they come to me stressed out and they
Absolutely.
leave happy. And the name of the business is Cloud 9, baby, because they leave on Cloud 9.
Okay, what I want to know is what's the book about? That's what I
Well,
want to know.
well, the book is going to be about my life in show business and obviously about the life and the things that I'm doing now. Because believe me, I've seen some interesting
And
situations.
people will want to read about it. There's
Yeah.
no question. Okay, good. So now, this is really interesting that I brought up the ideal client thing. So, if you're going to only work 9:30 to 3 so that you can write in the afternoons, who is your ideal client? You don't have to describe it physically. Just,
Visiting businessmen.
Okay, but someone who you actually can make a time with and count on them being there at a certain
That's right.
time.
Yeah.
So, what I would recommend, or I've never been in this situation before.